Welcome to the day 23 of our 30 days AI automation challenge. Today we are going to be building the front end of our n8n workflow using Antigravity. Of course, I told you in the last class how to download it, how to install it, and today we are also going to show you how to use it to build your front end. And of course, in one of our classes, I actually taught you how to build something like this, such that if you click on here and start chatting with the AI, it will work. We will build it from the Magnus and connected it to one of our workflow, which was actually this particular one, and it actually works in that class. So today, when some of you are complaining about Magnus, I want to actually show you how to also use Antigravity. Antigravity is actually a new tool, right? So it's actually good for you as an AI automation builder to jump into it and see how you can use it to build a beautiful workflow, a front end or UI. All right, in fact, the one I built from Antigravity is actually more beautiful than Magnus. That's why I'm actually teaching it as one of the topics in this class. So to do that, we'll go to our Antigravity. Of course, you should have install it and open it. Your own, if you are opening it new, you should be able to see where we have open file. That's because I explained in the last class that anything you are building, you need to save it in the file, just like the app developers usually do, right? So if you can see that here I created one and I have Dennis n8n, but your own, you just click on that open file, it will take you to your maybe file explorer in your laptop, you create a file there and all of that. So to create our own new folder where every other thing will be saved, because I want to do that because let me not use this so that you will not get confused, right? So let me show you how to click. You can click on here and then you can click on open folder, and then here you can just choose anywhere you want to save the folder, and then you can just click on new folder or right click. If you right click, you should be able to see where we have open new folder, right? But I've just done it here. So let me right click and name it. I actually want to name it let me name the folder. I can just name the folder Undigyang because I've used Dennis, so let me use Undigyang n8n. All right, and then click on select folder. So once I select on folder, it should be able to open, and we'll have a new folder where every of our work will actually go into that particular place. So this is the folder. Let me close this, and then you can see that let me close this. Sorry, it should not be down. Let me close this, please, and then you can see now, can be able to have it here. So under the folder, let me open it. You can see that it's inside this thing. Everything we are building will now be stored inside of that folder. Now on the folder we have here, you can add a file to it. You can also add another folder to it. You can refresh, and then of course you can collapse the whole folder. Now this is very important. You need the folder, or you need the Antigravity to have some files that you will use in building it. We have talked about building a rack, right, where you put all the documents of your company into it, put some of the things you want into it in order for you to have enough things to respond to your client. So even under Gravity, we are also going to give it some files. Is that okay? You can give it as many files as possible to say, okay, this is the files we have, use it to build our UI, our front end of our automation. Is that okay? So today I want to add only one file to show you as an example, because this is not going to be a tedious work. Okay, so here we have new file. So I now click on new file, and then we will now name it. What should we name it? Let's say I want to give it our brand guide, express tech guide, that carries our maybe our logo, our name, our colors, and all the information that we need. Is that okay? So I could just name it brand guide. You can name it anything. Is that okay? It must not just be brand guide, but in the end you should be able to add .md, which is very, very important for markup. That nd means for markup. So whatever you are naming it at the end, just name .markup. So that is that. The file now has everything. And if we check the AI agent here, that's going to create the Antigravity agent that's going to create everything, is now carry the name of our folder. If I click, I have another folder here. I think I have another folder that is showing Dennis. It's not showing. If I click on that Dennis n8n, you should see that the AI agent will turn to that one, showing that it's only working on that particular folder alone. And we already have this one. And now what we need to do next is we need to now connect this our folder and of the whole of everything of this Gravity to our n8n, the workflow. And remember that even when we're creating this front end that I showed you, sorry, let me come back here, this front end that I just showed you, even when we're creating it, we link a particular workflow, and this is the workflow that we actually did. What we did from day 7 was what we linked to Magnus to create us this front end that you are seeing, and it's this same one that I want to still link to Antigravity to build us the front end. So you can see that I have told you from the beginning that you have to save your work. Is that okay? So we are not building anything new, we just want to connect the one that we have. So is that okay? So let me come back to our Magnus, our Antigravity, and you can see here, so to connect the Antigravity to that our n8n, we have to click on here, this dots like lie straight like this, and you see where we have MCP servers. Click on it, and when you click on it, we have a lot of other servers that you can use to connect to and all of that. But if you check for n8n, you won't be able to find it here. That is why we need to create our own n8n in order to link everything together. We can't find n8n here, so we need to create it ourselves, and that is one of the things that we'll be doing today. So to create it, click on manage MCPs, and when you click on manage this, because you can see that no MCP servers installed. I've not installed anyone actually. All you have to do is click on view rack, and of course you can see it here, the file should contain a JSON file, but it's not here. We need to configure that ourselves. Even if I click on this thing here, it will show us some dummy stuff like this, but there's nothing important here that relates to n8n. Is that okay? What we need to do is, let's come back to our n8n, and this particular part, let's come back to here and click on settings. When you click on settings, we will have instance level MCP. Click on it, and we want to actually talk. I've not actually enabled anyone for this particular n8n. That's okay. So all we have to do is ensure that this enable is something. If your own, it could be disabled. Please ensure that you turn it on. And immediately you turn it on, then you click on connection details. When you click on connection details, it should be able to show you oath, and then show you access token, right? Click on access token, and then you can see that we now have JSON here. Just forget about whatever is here, but we have configuration JSON. All that we need is this configuration JSON. So copy it, and then let's return back to our Antigravity, and then you can see it here somewhere. We have it here, then paste it. Now once we paste this, you can see that we now have it here. So this should show that of course it should be working. But let's click on here, let's go back to our agents, and this is what we have here. So let's click on manage MCPs, and then refresh again, and let's see if we should have it here. But one thing you need to also understand is that the MCP we just copied is only for this particular let me return back so that you see it is only for this particular n8n, and the name of this n8n, or the name of this workflow rather, is day 7. Please, you have to take note of this. The name we have here is day 7. In case you can't find the name here, please click on overview, and then we can see that we have all the workflows that I've been doing here, day 7 workflow and all of that. And if we click here, let me click on here, you can see that it should be able to have enable MCP access. Let's click on it. So we want to enable only for this particular one. Let me click on it again. You can see that it's already enabled. Now if I click on this one, they will still ask me enable MCP this thing. So we are not enabling for all. We're only enabling for the particular one that we want to work for. However, if you want the Antigravity to have access to all the workflow you have, you can enable all of them by doing it one by one. Is that okay? But I want you to access only the day 7, because the day 7 is what I just do. So I just came here and I enable it. So let's go back. So we return here, and then let's still check if this thing has been connected. All right, it has not connected, but let's refresh it again. If it has not connected, please refresh it. Now you must ensure that this thing gets connected before you even proceed. And if it get connected, 3 things will be connected. You will see here 3 things will be connected. Number 1, it will show you it has been connected to this. Number 2, it has been connected to this. Number 3, it has been connected to this. But if it has not connected, don't panic. The reason being being that this thing is actually sometimes, depending on the system you're using, it can actually malfunction. Like for this example, this fresh laptop I'm using is malfunctioning, and in the other of my laptop is working. Is that okay? Just refresh and then ensure that it's working. If it's not working, the AI will not be able to generate the UI based on that n8n. Is that okay? But even if it did not connect, you still have Magnus that I taught you to use how to do it, but I'm only saying that if you did not connect, it will work for a lot of you. Is that okay? Now, there's one thing that we did not do. We did not, when we created our file for our n8n, we did not add the file here. Is that okay? So I want you to go to ChatGPT, and of course I've told you about that. Tell ChatGPT that I want you to create a guide for my company, or something that the AI will use in generating that content. So what I did is that I went to ChatGPT and told ChatGPT, generate me a brand guide for Express Tech, and I told him the color of my Express Tech, the color palette. I gave him all the details that he needs to generate it. It now generates something like this. So all I have to do is just copy it and then come back here and then paste it here. Just paste. Is that okay? Control S and paste. Immediately after you paste, Control V rather to paste, Control S to save. If you don't save it, it will not work. We created the file, but we did not paste the brand guide, but I've just pasted it. Is that okay? Let's come back here. You can see it's still refreshing. Even if it did not work, right? You have Magnus, but if it works fine for you, you can now proceed to do it. Now, if it did not work, this is the AI here. You can tell the AI, I'm trying to connect my n8n with my anti-gravity. Please check to see where the problem is and fix it for me. The AI will run through everything, see the error that is showing, whatever the problem may be, and it will fix it for you. I think this is what I did in the other of my laptop, because it also shows this, but I went ahead to troubleshoot it with the AI and it fixed it. Is that okay? If this AI did not fix it, take the problem out to ChatGPT or Gemini, and they will be able to fix all these things for you. Now, once it has fixed for you, and you can now see that 3 things has been fixed. Number 1, 2, 3. They will line up here. Now, you will now tell the AI, please confirm if the n8n is now accessible in anti-gravity, or anti-gravity can now access my n8n MCP. Then it will tell you that, okay, it has been confirmed. Once it says it has been confirmed, the whole work has been done. All you have to do is now proceed to now say, okay, based on the workflow number, or just workflow title, you name the title. For this one we are using I think day 7 or so. So you can now tell the AI, please generate me the UI for the workflow on my n8n. Then you mention the name of the n8n, the name of the workflow. Remember that when we went to n8n, I don't want to go there again. When we went to n8n, where I only toggle one on. I only toggle the MCP of I think day 7 on. So you are telling the AI that please generate me the UI using my brand guide for n8n, for workflow 7 in my n8n. It does not need anything. It will access that workflow directly, see everything it needs, and connect everything together, and you have a beautiful UI that you can now copy the production URL and use in your website. Is that okay? So, but one problem again is that remember I said that not all the workflow should be enabled with MCP. However, if you enable all of them with MCP, please ensure that you tell this AI here, this one here I'm typing here, ensure that you tell it the particular title of the n8n you should use. Because if all the workflow are enabled, the n8n will be, the anti-gravity will be confused with which particular n8n to develop the UI for. So by mentioning the name, it will now know that, okay, it's only this particular one that I'm using. That's why I'll recommend that don't enable all of them. Just, enable the particular one that you want, and then also call the name, and this thing will build a beautiful UI for you. I'm sorry we can't be able to make the example because this thing is fairly, and if I want to try it now, it will take me some time to troubleshoot. Is that okay? But try it. If it works for you, try to generate the UI for you. If it did not work for you, don't panic. The Magnus is there for you to use. On Magnus, we even talked about templates and all of that. So this is how to build a UI with anti-gravity. If it did not work for you, use Magnus. And if everything works for you, tell me in the comment section if it works for you and the kind of laptop that you're using. I will see you in our next class.